Hey guys, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here, and today we're here to talk about the LQ Army 3-day pack, so stay tuned. Okay guys, let's kind of run over the specs of the pack real quick, and then I will talk about how I've used it, what I think about it, and would I recommend it. First off, this is made of a 600 denier polyester fabric, very heavy duty. It's kind of, to me, the sweet spot of fabrics for packs, because it's not too heavy like a 1,000 denier pack would be. That yeah, they may last a ridiculously long time, but they tend to be really heavy. This is the density that is kind of optimal, because you get a lot of wear resistance, a lot of tear resistance, waterproofness or water resistance, as well as better weight. So it weighs 3.1 pounds. It is 21 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and 9.5 inches deep. As you can see here, you have a pouch down here, a really tall, almost the length of the pack, zippered pouch here, two pouches here, this one with the pin pouches on the outside. You do have, with the straps here, you have a pouch right here that I use for my GPS, but will also hold the radio. Also, I attach my spot messenger, so when I'm out hiking and stuff like that, in case I need help, I have a way to get it, but also to keep track of where I've been. You have padded shoulder straps with the mesh on the inside, as you can see on each side. They're not real thick, but I'll tell you what, I was out walking up and down multiple mountains yesterday, and I gotta say that this was a perfect amount of padding. I mean, it was a very comfortable pack to wear. You have D-rings on each side. This one I always put my emergency whistle on. Your sternum strap, which is here. It didn't have a whistle. I know some packs do have that. Doesn't really bother me one way or the other, because I always carry one that's much better than one that's always included on the sternum strap. You have a very nicely padded mesh backing here that I'll tell you what, this does great for ventilation and stuff like that. I mean, I was sweating like crazy getting up and down these mountains, even though it was extremely cold. So this was very nice to have, as far as not just the padding, but absorb the moisture off my back, so then it wouldn't, freeze back to me. You do have a zippered pouch right here, so you can fit a hydration bladder in it. It doesn't come with one, but just so you know that it will hold one. I have plenty, so not an issue for me. All right, so now let's get into how I set this pack up and what I used it for and what I thought about it. First off, down here, I have my trauma kit, a couple of boo-boo kits here, and my EpiPens, because I do get allergy shots, so I have to have those with me at all times. I've never had an issue with anything, but could never be too safe, because especially if you're out in the woods and you have an allergic reaction to something, best to be able to be prepared for that. The zippers, very heavy duty. They are not YKK, but as you can see here, they do have very good zipper pulls on them, so even with gloved hands, it's not an issue. I've used the zippers a bunch, just practicing with them or just trying them out. I have no issues with binding or anything like that, so good on the zippers. Good size for this bottom pouch. Up here is your admin pouch. Now, obviously, depending on what you're going to be using it for is how much admin you're going to have into it. I keep an extra bandage. This be a compression one. Got my work sharp knife sharpener. My knife that I was going to use for, this was a, well, let's just call it a food procurement trip. If I use the H word, YouTube likes to just automatically demonetize that, so we're kind of going to go with that word. So you got your fire steel for starting fires, obviously, and then the knife for, well, if you get your game, then putting the necessary insides on the outside. Extra carabiner, because in case you need to hang anything up, this supports a lot of weight, so it's always good to have. And then here, you just have a nice little pouch here. This has a little ID card slot if you need to use that. Zippered pouch here. Some pin pockets. I always keep a backup flashlight or two, as you will see. These are Velcro ties just for putting things up. An extra magnesium fire starter. If you know me, I'm a bit of a pyro, so I do like to have many ways of starting fire. This is a survival grenade. I just put it on the little key keeper. Obviously, you can just put your keys there. And this pouch goes all the way to this bottom part, as you can see. Another zippered pouch here that almost the depth of my hand, so pretty good depth on that. And this very back pouch, this is where I kept my license and tags. I always keep spare cords, gear ties, and stuff like that for recharging devices or just putting stuff together, or holding stuff together, I should say. Your bigger pouch, or your main compartment pouch. As you can see here, I kept my toboggan and vest on the inside, hearing protection, 2 sets of gloves. These are like glove liners, and these are fleece gloves without the fingers, because being able to get your finger on the trigger is kind of essential, and feeling it as well. Yep. Fuel cartridge. You can see this thing holds a lot of space. Backup clothing, more like base layer stuff for sleeping. Hammock, pillow, water bottle, and cook stove and cup. And then of course you also have my tarp. Then you also have a nice big open pouch back here. So it will hold a lot of stuff. I'm telling you what, because it's 30 liters total. So definitely going to fit most of your needs for most seasons. Let me take this off right here. Show you the back, or the pockets up at the top. This is a felt lined pouch. So I kept my shooting glasses in here, so they'll be protected. And then up here, another pouch. You can also use this for like a media pouch, because it does have a little exit right here you can put your headphones out of. I haven't done that yet, just because since I was on a food procurement trip, I need to be able to hear what was going on around me. Got bandana and lighter, gum, because that's always nice to be able to refresh your breath. Inhaler, chapstick, and you will always see I always have chapstick in like every pack that I have. I almost never use it, but I have it. Got another, this is called a Zambuck. It's another lip balm from South Africa, and some mints, because it's always nice to have something minty fresh while you're out. It's just a nice, good little morale booster. Nice to have a little bit of sugar every now and then. I've pretty much cut out sugar for the most part of my life, so just a little treat like that sometimes is kind of nice. We'll leave that off for now. Turn this around, and a really large zipper pouch on the side. I kept some gloves just for keeping my hands clean in case I achieved my goal. Got a monocular that actually worked really well. Stove for that fuel canister here, and also, you know, in case I wanted to boil water really fast or make a cup of coffee. And then of course fire starting materials. So always carry tinder as well as fire starters. As you notice, I'm very redundant in this area, but when I was out, I mean, it was crazy cold, because it was, I mean, just ridiculously windy. Also raining off and on a whole bunch, which also I should tell you that not anything got wet inside of my pack while I was out, even though it just kept raining on me off and on. So very good on that one. All right, so I messed up and said the H word. So while I was on my food procurement trip, it wasn't successful as I wanted to be. So yeah, I guess that's why they use the H word and not calling it the, I guess you could just say catchword, right? So for this one, I keep getting it caught on my water bladder here. Obviously, anytime you're going out in the woods and you're going to be out there for any amount of time, having a way to filter water, this way, in case you didn't want to boil it while you were out, you don't have to. Got some electrical tape, once again, for binding stuff. Compass and water purification drops. Now, you don't always need to be this redundant with all of your stuff. I am just kind of sometimes an overly prepared person, and that's just how I roll. So I say it just never hurts to be able to have multiple ways of filtering or boiling water, whatever it is that you need. Because also if you're boiling it, if it's really cold outside, it can warm you up on the inside, not just necessarily killing bacteria and germs and stuff. And then of course on the bottom I need to show the reinforcement on the bottom is magnificent. Very durable, very water resistant, so if you're sitting your pack down on really wet stuff or in a puddle, you're good to go. And yeah, and hopefully you can see that pouch. You can't see what the camera's seeing right now, but just another way to separate gear, or depending on how you want to set it up. If you wanted to put depending on what you're using it for, like if you want to put a laptop or a tablet or something like that, if you're not using it for the same type of trip that I did. I gotta say though, guys, very impressed with this pack. Very happy they sent it to me to review. Yeah, when they requested it, I was just like, yeah, why not? It very closely resembles camouflage on my hoodie, so that's always a bonus. The grab and drag handle here, really excellent. Very heavy duty right here, so no issues picking this up and moving it around. I'm telling you guys, I was very impressed with it. Going to be using it a lot more. I was also using it basically as like a EDC bag every day in my car or wherever I went. Also, you could use it as a get home bag, a bug out bag, so many, just a short backpacking trip. Probably be more ideal suited for spring through fall, just because, you know, when you get into winter, a lot of your gear gets really big and really bulky and stuff like that. So you could either just have less redundancies to be able to fit everything in, or just depending on the size of your gear, that's going to determine a lot. But I tell you what, guys, very happy with it. I think you will be too. You do get a discount code, and I just want you to sit down before I tell you this. So go ahead, I'll give you a second, sit down. This pack is normally $90, and I would say 100% worth the $90. The only real criticism I would have of it would be there's no waist belt. And like I was saying, I was going up and down mountains. I mean, they were extremely steep, not really that tall. I mean, between 600 and 800 feet on each one I was going up and down, but I never felt the need to have it. So this is kind of where I'm saying it's criticism, but you know, in some respects not really. Since I didn't feel the need to have it, I was good without it, but I know a lot of people like them. So if you had just like an 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch waist belt to secure it to your waist a little better, maybe a few more people will like it a little more. But as far as I've used it for, I didn't need it. But back to the price. All right, there's going to be a discount code down below, and I want you to use that, because if you use that code, you can get this for $18. That's right. Aren't you glad you were sitting down? Because 100%, there's no way this is not worth that. Fully worth the $90 if you're paying full price. If you got it on sale, I think they run it sometimes for like $60, even worth that price. But I don't think there's any way you could pass it up for $18. I mean, you just can't. A lot of quality items or features here, a lot of durability to be had out of this, and lots of comfort. Like I said, the shoulder straps were perfectly padded, not too thick, not too thin. The back, perfect ventilation and enough moisture wicking to keep your back dry, or at least as dry as possible as when you're wearing a pack. And yeah, highly recommend it, guys. Definitely got to check it out. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below. And in the meantime, be prepared, have fun. All right, so one last thing forgot to mention about getting this pack on and off. One of the things I love about this thing is the straps for it are very easily adjustable. So once you get it on, get that sternum strap, you can just grab these two, cinch it down to exactly where you need it. Good, firm, pack is not going anywhere. Looks like this, having it on. Really good, right? But also, when it comes to getting it off, literally just these tabs right here on either side, just pull up a little bit, loosens right up, comes right off, no issue whatsoever. I mean, it's quick on and off, and quick and easy to adjust, which is ideal for any and all packs. All right, guys, just didn't want to leave that out. All right, talk to you later.